Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Guns and Gadgets, the premier source for Second Amendment news. If it's Second Amendment news that you're after, if you absolutely love our right to keep and bear arms, then subscribe to this channel because I will bring you that information every single day, often several times a day. And today I'm going to talk to you about what happened yesterday in Washington, D.C. and why we should be paying attention, because it is actually, I think it's actually political theater for what they want your local cities and states to do, and we've seen an increase of it this year as it is. So I'm going to bring your attention to it and I want to discuss it, but I also want to tell you that tomorrow morning live at 9:55 a.m. I will be covering the markup in the House Judiciary Committee of House Joint Resolution 44, which is looking to nullify the ATF's pistol brace ban, and we're going to have a judge discussing, a judge will be ruling on that soon. So stay tuned, but I'll have that video linked down below and floating above so you can go to it and set a reminder. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9:55 a.m. Eastern, live with the House Judiciary Committee. All right, so yesterday in the District of Columbia, there was a big old rally to take away our rights using a bunch of emotionally charged students who all the time throughout history, government uses like pawns to take away powers and rights from the people and give them to the big government. Now the rally, if you really care, was called Save Our Students, and this came out of the White House yesterday. This was a tweet by the President of the United States, in name only maybe, and he said, ban assault weapons, require safe storage of firearms, require background checks for all gun sales, eliminate gun manufacturers' immunity from liability. We can and must do these things now, and it was 11:19 a.m. yesterday. Now, I'll start out. That's treasonous. That is the leader of this country whose only job is to protect and defend the United States Constitution, begging for people to infringe on it and to take away and strip rights because of feelings. And I don't care about your feelings and what you feel about this issue. This is one of our fundamental rights. We don't take away people's right to talk because kids swear or because somebody says something you don't want to hear. We don't take away people's Fourth Amendment rights because you really want your neighbor, the drug dealer, to get raided. We have our rights, and they're not from the government, they're from our Creator. And it's the Bill of Rights, which is actually a bill of restrictions on the government. The things that aren't in the Constitution, they don't get to do, and shall not be infringed actually means it. I'm going to show you this letter here that also came out because there's a group of 162 mayors that signed on to a letter putting pressure on Congress again. They're not going to get an assault weapon ban through Congress without more than the Cornyn and Murphy Bipartisan Safer Communities Act rhinos. They're going to need a lot more than that. But they're not going to get all this stuff. They know that. They can't get it done federally, which is why it hasn't happened, why they keep doing the same thing, mimicking like a talking parrot puppet, Biden, and a bunch of emotionally charged, uneducated kids out there. And what they really want is they really want this message to get to your local cities, towns, and states. They want your mayors, your select boards, your city councils, and your state legislators to enact this, and that's what's happening. That's what they're doing. Here's the letter I'm talking about. This letter is from the United States Conference of Mayors. I will have it linked down below for your perusal. And it's an open letter from the nation's mayors to the United States Congress urging immediate action on gun safety legislation. There is no such thing as gun safety because there is no such thing as gun violence. It's people violence. Dear members of the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate, again and again and again, Americans are stunned by senseless acts of violence involving guns. The March 27th shooting that took the lives of 3 9-year-old children and 3 adults in a Nashville elementary school was horrific, but not isolated. And there have been hundreds of mass shootings that have occurred over the last year, including those in Louisville, at Michigan State, and in Half Moon Bay, Monterey Park, Uvalde, Highland Park, Buffalo, and many other cities. Too many times, mayors have expressed shock at a mass shooting. Much more frequently, many of us must cope with the gun violence that occurs on the streets of our cities. Yeah, remember, defund the police. For more than 50 years, the United States Conference of Mayors has been calling for sensible gun laws to protect the public. In December, nearly 70 mayors from across the country whose cities had experienced a mass shooting in 2022 sent a letter to Senate leaders urging the Senate to pass bipartisan gun safety legislation that had already passed the House, S-736, the assault weapons ban of 2022, and S-529, the Background Check Expansion Act. Today, we repeat their message and urge you to immediately pass and send to the President legislation to ban assault weapons and large-capacity magazines, and to strengthen the background check system. Bills that could have prevented what happened in Louisville and Nashville and so many other cities from happening in the future. How many children have to die? How many adults must die before our nation takes action to reduce gun violence? We must and we can do more to protect people from this senseless slaughter. Mayors and police chiefs are doing everything they can to prevent and reduce gun violence in their cities, although local ordinances are often preempted by state legislatures. The time for Congress to act is now. Our children deserve better. So real quick, let's address this. There is no bill, there is no law that would ever stop a mad, insane person from committing crimes. That's what a criminal is. It's the definition of criminal. So taking away an item from somebody who owns it lawfully and legally and will never do anything to hurt anybody will not stop some mad person, no matter what color their hair is, from perpetrating heinous acts on people because they have the issue, okay? So banning anything will never work, ever. The only thing that would do is make more victims, which government really, really wants. They want you to fear. They want you to cower. They want you and your family to be victims, and they don't want you to protect them in any way. They want you to be on the teat of government so that you will beg them for more and they can give themselves more money and more power and more groups and more agencies and more entities. So before you know it, guys and gals, there's no coming back. That's my thoughts on this, but there's 162 mayors that have that put their name on this letter. I'll have it linked down below. I'm not going to put all their names here because I don't support a thing that they do, but just know that this is a smokescreen. They want their counterparts in other cities and towns and state legislatures to pass state assault weapon bans, to in places that don't have preemption laws, to pass local assault weapon bans and magazine bans and universal background checks. That's what this effort was for yesterday, and make no mistake about it, that's what Joe Biden wants. That's what the anti-gunners in Congress want. That's what the anti-gun groups absolutely want, because they're losing federally because of that thing called Bruin. But they know that if they can get cities and towns to pass this, maybe it'll get knocked down, but it could be 2, 3, 4, 5 years from them. And they, believe me, they really want to sue gun companies out of business. Let me know what you guys and gals think about this down below. Again, that link to that letter is there if you care about it. If you don't care about it, please subscribe to the channel. If you love the Second Amendment, please subscribe to the channel. And if you love our freedoms, then definitely subscribe to this channel, because I want to keep you up to date with what's actually going on. And I need you to tell those among us, people who are maybe not watching YouTube, people who are not reading headlines because they're sick and tired and frustrated, people who don't know about what's actually going on in our section of the freedoms that we talk about here, and that's the Second Amendment. We need to pass the word on if we want to keep it. And until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, and carry a gun to keep you, your friends, your family, your community safe. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.